Good evening. Welcome to the Usffl Afc Championship game for this 24 card set between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals. We should have a game number here momentarily. Be looking for that. And we expect an on-time kick. Kansas City finished 11-6 in the regular season. Cincinnati 10-7. There we go. 37307 is our game number. We will pop in and be on our way for what should be a good one. Let's see here. In terms of regular season, pretty sure these teams met. And Cincinnati, Kansas City. There we go. Kansas City wins 34-24 in the regular season. And it looks like we'll have kickoff here imminently. And it looks like KC is going to start off 1st and 10 from their 30. As we try to get set up. Make sure everything's looking good over here. Yep. Okay, that's right and good. All right, everybody, let's settle in for some AFC Championship football. It's always championship games for USFFL are probably my favorite games of all. Even better than the Super Bowl usually. This one should be good. KC offense, not prolific during the regular season. We saw some good play from them last week. We start off with the flat pass, nobody home. And loses 2 yards, hits the -3. Mahomes can't take advantage. Enough men up in the line of scrimmage to prevent the flat pass as wrong. That's why the empty zone as wrong. You need that. Now, I know we have a key injury there. I think we just saw it show up a little bit anyway. And that's Creed Humphrey out for the 4-2-5 nickel here. But interestingly, Hendrickson is not lining up as linebacker. So really no pass rush threat here. Long pass, Noah Gray, nobody home. Opportunity for the Chiefs. Can they cash it in? Oh, they're going to dump off and get 5. So it's going to set up a 3rd and long. KC, in terms of dump offs during the regular season, finished 8th in the league with 22% of their dump off opportunities, meaning short passing and long passing, guess right, turning into a dump off 22% of the time, 8th in the league. But overall, they gave up a lot too. They gave up about 21%. Overall margin, they actually gave up more dump offs than they had. Mostly comes probably from the flat passing of Kansas City, which is 7th in the league at 37%. Third and 9, trying to avoid a quick 3 and out here. Hunt, not Perrine, is your back in this 3rd and 9 spot. KC did a pretty good job of converting these in the regular season. 9th in the league, 31%. It's a short pass of Smith-Schuster. 4 men in zone and gets the completion. 1st down, KC. Climbs out of that hole from behind the sticks on 2nd down. Out to their own 41. 13-48, 1st quarter. Stays too tight. 4-3, and we see Hendrickson staying there. So that's one thing we were really looking for, to see if he would try to take advantage but all zeros here, so not looking like Cincy's going to attempt to go after Creed Humphrey. Interesting development. Not that Casey's a big short passer and long passer anyway. Goes small ball here. Hits that 20% sack. Gets a receiver reading and 11 yards. So 20% sack on a 1 versus that 0. You know, if he had Hendrickson, that would have been a sack. 1st and 10 up to the 48. Blocking back formation versus the traditional 4-3 now for Cincy. Cincy on defense calls run 27% of the time, 11th in the league, and there's a run call. Nobody home, though. It goes to the defensive card. Can he make the stop? Yes. BJ Hill calls on the right tackle, who's a 5. The left tackle is a 0. That would have been 5 yards if it went the other way. Instead, no gain, 2nd and 10 from the Cincy 48. Bucker only goes out to the 37. Sort of a traditional long range for him, where he only hits 15 out of 36 in that long range. So not nearing field goal range yet, like some kickers would. 3 wide, 2 running back, gets the 4.25 out of it. Again, nobody matched up on Humphrey. Inviting a run here. Let's see if KC takes the invitation with Hunt. Does. Off tackle, guessed right. So crosses him up. Possible penalty. It's a personal foul. And that's a big one for KC. Cincinnati does really well in penalties overall. Only gets called 5.9 per game against themselves, which is good for 6th in the league, but gets a key one there, 1st and 10 at 33. The Cincinnati defensive profile. 17th linebucker, 20th ranked off tackle, 15th ranked end run, 25th flat pass, 16th short pass, 7 long pass. Linebucker Hunt on 1st down. Gets 3. Want to have more than that if you're KC. Now moves to 2nd and 7. Traditionally a spot where KC looks a little bit more towards short pass. They finished 6th in the league in short passing overall at a 25% clip. 32nd in long pass at just 2%. Short pass is one thing that Cincinnati typically did not over defend, and here we see him in a 4.25. Let's see if they keep that 4th man in the short pass zone here. As we await the play call. Still await the play call. Off tackle, Kareem Hunt. Nobody home, boxes are activated. Opportunity for Hunt. Gonna get 15 if there's not a penalty. But there's a penalty. It's a holding against KC. Going to push him back to their own 40, 2nd and 17 now. Wipes out a 15-yard gain, so effectively a 25-yard impact. That's another big one. 2 big penalties on this drive, one against both sides. 2nd and 17. A spot traditionally where KC looks to the flats 42% of the time, compared to a league average of 29%, so not the majority, but still an outsized amount. When KC goes to the flats more than anybody else, they've gone to Xavier Worthy, who had 87 targets in the flat pass look-in pass zones. That's 27th overall in the league. But given as many as flat passes that KC has thrown throughout the year, that's kind of well distributed. To not have anybody in even the top 20 or top 15, kind of would have expected that. Too tight again versus 4-2-5. So a lot of 4-2-5 for Cincy here. Pulling out that middle linebacker. Who is a 4 rated in coverage. 4 rated in coverage. It's a looking pass. Man is there. He's being covered as well. Looking for the 6 if you're KC. Gets a 1, -3, but picks up 12 on the act. Possible penalty is a flag. It's an offside against Cincy. So choice here for KC. 2nd and 12 or 3rd and 8. Takes the 2nd and 12. Betting on the ability to get 4 yards on this play or more. Up to the 35. Talked about the dump-off margin for KC, which is kind of middle in the pack. Nobody gets more dump-offs than this, at least in terms of margin, better than their opponent, than Cincinnati. Led the league. 3 more dump-offs per game than their opponent. 2nd and 12. .11:06 left first quarter. It's just looking past. Nobody home for Kelsey. Opportunity for Kelsey, and he gonna get a short gain, 17 yards, first down. Into the red zone go the Chiefs. At the 18-yard line. This flat passing team is happy to see some empty zones. KC saw a good amount of empty zones during the year. An average of 0.9 men in zone against. Looking past Noah Gray. Up against a 4 in that zone. Incomplete on Gray's card. Second and 10. So KC offense kind of sputtering here on this drive, but nonetheless working their way down the field and could get the touchdown out of it. Red zone defense for Cincinnati finished 6th in the league with 70% efficiency. Gave up no points on red zone trips 16% of the time, which is good for 10th in the league. 8th best in not giving up touchdowns. 59% of the time, touchdown was scored. It's 3 wide, 2 running back versus a blitzing 4-3. Carson Steele provides no blocking. Hunt gets you a 4. Short pass, Xavier Worthy, 3 men in zone. It's going to be against a 5, complete for 15. Center not challenged, but it went to the right guard, Trey Smith, anyway. 26% chance, came in at 61. It's 1st and goal from the 3-yard line for KC. Linebuck to Hunt was the 4th most popular play in all the USFFL on 1st and goal. Overall, the team ran 60% of the time versus 62% league-wide on 1st and 1 to 9 yards. It's a linebuck to Pacheco. It is guessed wrong. One man is there, going to get a touchdown. KC cashes in on a first drive score. 6-0 Chiefs. Buck around for the extra point, hit 95% of them in the regular season. It's good. 7-0 KC, 9:18 left first quarter. Cincinnati about to get their first crack at it. Really nice way to start the game for any team, anywhere. It's kind of a universal statement, no doubt about it. But KC in particular, whose offense is 26th in the league in points scored. It's a big help. The kickoff goes back 32 yards to the 36. The second kick returner for Cincinnati, I believe, has a touchdown. Indeed, he does. No punt return score for Cincy. Returners for KC, no touchdowns. Long of 56 on the kickoff, long of 55 on the punt return for KC. And you see that coverage for KC. That's what it hit there, 32 yards. Short pass, first down. And it's a short passing team. Cincinnati, number 1 in the league in short passing at 29% of the time. Mentioned KC before, 5th in the league at 26% throwing short passes. So that's the difference between number 1 and number 6, those 4 percentage points. Too tight with Brown in the backfield. Chase Brown splits 66 line bucks, 100 off tackles, 79 end runs. So spreads it out very nicely. Does not lean on any particular running lane. It's a good practice if you can get it. Long pass, man is back there up against Higgins, who's on a 4. Looking deep. Going to get a dump off. I'm going to get 6 yards. Talked about the dump offs for Cincinnati. Led the league in margin, 3 more than their opponent. Led the league in percentage margin, meaning they get 23% of the time on short passes and long passes, guessed right, turn into dump offs. Their opponents are only at 11%. That 11.9% margin leads the league. That 11% for their opponents on defense alone leads the league. It's about every category there, number 1 or number 2 in dump offs. And I track, 6 categories. End run, Chase Brown, guessed wrong. Ooh, bad roll for the Bengals there, 2nd and 4. On the dreaded 5, let's go to 3rd and 4. Cincinnati spreads out their play calling nicely here. Nothing of an outsized amount. Overall, though, you do see some end runs from Chase Brown, 19th highest play call in the league in this spot. That's worth noting, but not a major factor. Let's see what happens here on this 3rd and 4. KC defense trying to get off the field. Flat pass Higgins. A 5 is there. He's not double teamed. Needs 4 yards. Does not get it. Loss of 2. Chase on the 8 roll of Yak could not convert 4th and 6. Punting away from the 50. Going to cough and corner it. And it's going to be a chance to catch it. This is one where you typically let it roll at the 6. But it's right on the fringes. Need a good roll if you're still. He runs it out. Would have been a touchback. Instead, KC will get it at their 11. So aggressive call there for the Chiefs. Not much upside in that card. And as you can see, not much upside in the coverage either. And the coverage shows up nicely with just a 5-yard gain. Flat pass worthy. Going to get 5 yards. 2nd and 5. KC likes to see a 4-3-D, given the amount of flat passing that they do. Blocking back formation. It's Pacheco and Gray. Facing a 3-3-5 here. So now we get a matchup of a 3-pass rusher up on that 0-0 center. I'm sure that's taken note of. 2 men in zone flat pass. Looking for a pick if you're Cincy. Can he get it? Needs a roll. Does not get that roll, but it's incomplete. Sets up a 3rd and 5. Kansas City struggled during the regular season in this spot. Completed 32%, which was 31st in the league. Cincinnati at 50%, 17th in the league on defense. 3 wide, 2 running backs. So downgrading those run blockers. It's a line buck to Hunt. Needs 5. Let's see what we got behind here. Oh, not going to matter. Offsides against Cincy. Can take 6 or can take 5. It depends on whether we want to burn a carry from Hunt or not. Accepts the penalty, keeps the Hunt carry alive. Hunt with 19 carries left. He's been a stalwart of these Chiefs during this playoff run. So keep him fresh. Gives up the yard. Instead of the 22, it's the 21-yard line, 1st and 10. 6:18 left, first quarter. Blocking back versus 3-3-5 again. Activates some extra yards on the defensive card, moving away from the 4-man front. Kansas City accepts that invitation and gets a dreaded 5, 2nd and 10. Isn't that always the way? Kareem Hunt ran 120 line bucks, 125 off tackles, and 10 end runs during the regular season. So splits them up just about evenly between line buck and off tackle. Pacheco definitely leaned more to the off tackle. Hunt is in again here on this 2nd and 10. Short pass Kelsey. He's not double team. Misses on Mahomes' card, 3rd and 10. Interesting opportunity here for Cincy to get off the field. Shotgun set. Hendrickson stays at end. Indeed he does. And you got Tooney out there on him. Tooney naturally a guard, moved to tackle to face Hendrickson. The defense gets to choose second. So, I mean, you can, if you see Tooney out there, you can adjust if you want to. Haven't seen that adjustment yet. Short pass, Kelsey, 4-man in zone. Incomplete. Cincinnati will get off the field here. 4-men make a difference? It did not. Punt coverage for Cincy goes, for Kansas City goes 12 on 7, then 11 and 3 yards. So no long gain opportunities here. Ariza, 50 yards down the field. Charlie Jones from the 29. $12 yards. On the 7. 1st and 10. Good field position for Cincinnati. Cincinnati did a good job in field position this year. Both these teams did. Cincinnati finished 2nd in the league at +4. Kansas City 8th at +1. Average starting position for Cincinnati was their own 31-yard line. They did a particularly good job in holding their opponent's field position. Their opponents averaged a 27, which was tops in the league for the Bengals. 3 wide. The flat pass. Up against 4. Incomplete on Burrow's split interception. Joe Burrow, 3rd best quarterback in the set based on expected yards. 7th in flat pass, 3rd in short pass, 4th in long pass. So better quarterback card sits with the Bengals tonight. Kansas City defense against the pass, 11th flat, 18th short, and 29th long. But you can see some decent pass rush opportunities, especially when you expose this nose tackle. No, sorry, that was the other team. Incomplete again. You see Karras is a 7, Brown is a 7, Mary Smims a 4. Sets up a 3rd and 10 on that miss on Burrow's card. Again, 3 wide. It's Karlaftis against Mims, where the opportunity is for KC. See, those guards are pretty weak, so it kind of makes sense to say 3 wide, I suppose. KC usually do not bring their linebackers, and linebackers are not necessarily strong pass rushers. I think they're 3s and 4s for the most part. Short pass, Chase Brown. He's not double teamed. Looking for a defender reading. It's going to be a nice play by Drew Tranquil on the 4 white die. Matches his 4 rating. 4th and 10. Another Bengals punt. 59 yards out this time. Kicks away. From the 11-yard line is Hardman. And Hardman calls for a fair catch. So another long field for KC. Cincinnati doing what they do in terms of field position. Pacheco is your back. Gray moves to the second tight end role. Up against the 0 is Gray. Kelsey on the 0. Hopkins and Worthy on 4s. Not much of a threat of pass rush, so see what happens here. End run, Pacheco. Nobody home, guess wrong. 5 yards. Successful play on first down. Move 2nd and 5. 3:18 left first quarter. KC leads 7-0. It's been a pretty ho-hum game so far since the KC touchdown. Been trading punts. KC opened the game, if you joined us late, with a touchdown drive. It's a long touchdown drive. A couple penalties both ways. Pushed them forward, then pushed them back, and then they worked their way into the end zone. Facing a 3-3-5 again versus blocking back off tackle. Guessed right. Nobody home. Tackle won't make that play. 6 yards, first down. I was looking for the offensive card if you were Cincinnati. Couldn't get it. 1st and 10 up to the 22. So Cincinnati showing, kind of flashing some run calls here, even out of the nickel. Trying to send a message. Off tackle, Pacheco. Gonna get 15, I believe. Yes, 15 for Pacheco. Hits the box. With the 4-3 move to the 3-man line, that'll happen. And the nice gain after the 37. Look at Cincinnati's interception return card, because they finished 9th in the league in interception returns. I'll take a look. Okay. Nothing spectacular, just some chunky yards. But, no touchdowns in the middle of the card, nothing like that. Off tackle, guessed right. No men in zone. Even though you put that linebacker up there in the 4-3, it's not going to count. You need to have 2 to get 1. 2nd and 10. Three wide versus 3-3-5. It's Hunt and Steele in the backfield. It's a long pass to Rashee Rice, and it's a sack. So up against Hendrickson, did not see the move out there by very interesting. Did not see the move for Tooney, and that caused the sack. It would not have been a sack if Tooney was out there. So now 3rd and 18. So both sides, I don't know, curious moves in terms of how they're in this particular matchup, the KC offensive line versus the Cincy pass rush. Both teams, I mean, here's an opportunity to go after Creed Humphrey in a 4-2-5 perhaps. But we'll have a 3 up against him here. Flat pass. Rice, man is there on this 3rd and long. Can't find that plus 23, and instead gets 5 yards, and KC is going to punt. This time, KC should be able to establish some better field position here. 66 yards out. Needs a nice punt. Doesn't get it, but a roll. Puts it 49 yards from here. And that'll get Cincinnati, inside the 30? Yeah, inside the 20, to the 17. 1st and 10. 3 wide. It's 3-3-5. Off tackle, Chase Brown. Chris Jones makes the play. 2nd and 10. In just about every down and distance, you're going to see some pretty outsized numbers for Cincinnati throwing short. This down and distance, no exception. 13 percentage points above the league. Goes looking to Chase Brown and gets 16 on the 6 white die. So a nice roll there for Cincy. Gets the offense kind of moving a little bit. It's been stalling, as most teams do against these Chiefs. That is their second first down of the game. And you can see just 30 yards so far versus KC's 88 as we are in the early moments of the second quarter. 4-man in zone here on this short pass. Could get flushed. Misses the 55% and gets 13 yards. So Karlaftis had his chance. Couldn't get it. He was downgraded to a 9. No linebackers helping out. 1st and 10 to the 46. Cincy trying to piece together a bit of a drive here. A little bit of offensive momentum might be coming together. Wouldn't declare it quite yet. Short pass, T. Higgins, 4-man in zone, complete. On the Chiefs card, now into Chiefs territory at the 43. Starts out 3 wide. Jason Higgins both finished in the top 6 in short pass targets. Higgins a little bit more, 83 targets. 80 for Chase. Just misses the pick on 1st down. Then there's a holding against Cincy. So that could stem the momentum here for the Bengals that they're trying to build. Starting out now, 1st and 20. Like to go small ball in these spots typically. Does so 88% of the time versus a league average of 76. Let's see if that trend holds up. That's a pretty strong trend. Indeed, it holds up. Looking pass, Chase Brown gets 4 yards, 2nd and quite long. Evan McPherson, kicker for the Bengals, goes up to the 42-yard line, where he hits 18 out of 36. He's got 7 yards to go to get a shot at a field goal. Second and long, expect the short pass here from Cincy. Goes looking instead to Jamar Chase, who's been doubled with some frequency. And Chase, it's receiver card 6 yards. So not too much damage done there. 3rd now and 10 at the 43. Chase averaged 13.4. A little closer look at that flat pass right column. Not much going on there. Certainly no long gain. Nothing resembling a long gain. Nothing resembling a short gain. So pretty pedestrian. From the card perspective, he's a B-yak, so I can get a long gain that way. 3rd and 10 from the 43. Up against 326. Cincy trying to keep the drive alive. Short pass to Higgins. Incomplete. 4th and 10 from the 43 outside of field goal range. I think we'll see another punt here, down 7-0. Cincinnati 25th in the league and going forward on 4th down. Just 1.2 per game. Coffin corner punt. Is it a good one? It is. It's the 4-yard line. 10:30 left, second quarter. Chiefs still lead 7-0. Now back behind the 5-yard line at the 4. Goes 3 wide 2, facing a 3-3-5. And we've got Tooney not out there against Hendrickson, so I can't imagine he'll go short here. Yep, line buck to Hunt, no gain. Second and 10. Blocking back versus 3-3-5. Once again, Hendrickson in a good, favorable matchup. We see something in the flats here, perhaps. Yep, Smith-Schuster. 4 is there, looking for that 6 roll. Gets a short gain. Wow, 16 yards. That's a great way to pull out of that hole. Wow. First and 10. Out to the 20. Blocking back formation again, insisting on the nickel. Looking past Rice, man is there. Gets 9 yards. Nicely done on Rice's card. First and 10 from the 20. Oh, sorry. Second and 1 from the 29. Too tight versus now 4-3. And since he has pretty decent pass defense, so I understand the base defense here. Looking pass, worthy. Logan Wilson's double teaming, so that's not going to count. 10-yard gain. KC putting together a couple first downs after their own 39. 3 wide 2. Flat pass, 2 men in zone. Incomplete. Second time now that we've seen 2 men in zone called correctly by Cincy. Team that did not guard the flat pass zone heavily in the regular season, 19th in the league in the flats, combined flat and look in, 25th in the league. We see that show up with the 4-2-5 usage. Second and 10, short pass, Xavier Worthy. 3 men in zone. Yes, 3 men in zone. Must run. Mahomes scampers for 18. And the Chiefs marching. Started out at their own 4. Now to the Cincinnati 43, halfway through the second quarter. Back to the nickel for Cincy. Looking past Kelsey, 5 yards. Second and 5. Pacheco is your back in this blocking back formation. It's nickel. Linebuck guessed right. Nobody in zone. That's going to be a nice block by Tooney. 6 yards, first down. Up to the Cincinnati 32. Linebuck Hunt. No gain. Second and 10 from the 32. Three wide, 2. Let's see if Cincy stays nickel. They do. And for the most part, KC has been staying small ball in this setup with a lot of running. Looking pass, one man there. Hunt gets 5, third and 5. Now, I wouldn't call it uber successful Kansas City, but they had the lead. The lead leaning on the number 1 rated defense in terms of points against. Too tight on this third and 5. So interesting formation choice here. Got some zeros to work with. There's a 6 there, a 4 there, and there's your 0, but Hunt's really not an end run guy. Stays base in the D on a third and 5. Looking pass. Kelsey avoids injury on the 2-1-1 roll. Incomplete, 4th and 5. Bucker on from 44 yards out, where he hits 33 out of 36. And it is no good, and the 11 is hit. Oh, my. Well, nice little drive there by KC. Comes up empty. Big miss, 4:30 left in the second quarter. Let's see if Cincy can build upon that. 3 wide versus 3-3-5. Short pass. Complete for 10. Up to the 44. Plenty of time. Plenty of time for KC to have a possession after this drive. In most cases, at least. Especially with these two teams. Too tight versus 4-3. So kind of base formations, which makes sense with 4 minutes left from about midfield. Short pass, Jaceki. 3 men in zone. And there's a pass interference call against KC for 15. That's going to push the Bengals into Chiefs territory at 41. Blocking back. Bengals might try to whittle some clock here. Maybe. I don't know. I'd prioritize tying this game up. Sack! 55%er. 2nd and 13. Three wide. So the base call drew the 4-3 from the Chiefs. The 4-3 put guys over those guards who were quite weak, in case he was able to take advantage. And now it's 2nd and very long. 3 wide. Flat pass Chase. Up against a 5. Gets the 6 roll. Possible penalty. It's waved off. 3rd and 5. Checking back on McPherson. From this deep range, he's just 18 of 36. Upgrades only 3 chances to 21 out of 36. Up at the 32-yard line. So not the most promising outlook in terms of field goals here. He can hit them. He hit 76% during the regular season, was 24th in the league. Was McPherson. 3 wide. Check. Flat pass. To a double chain Chase. Gets 4 yards anyway. 4th and 1. Cincinnati not known to go for it, but this may be the time to do it. Big decision here. Again, just 21 of 36 here. And yeah, he's going to go for it. On 4th and 1, KC does not show any defensive tendency that you want to take advantage of. They were successful 44% of the time. No, 73% of the time on defense, which is just 29th in the league. Huh. That seems upside down. 4th and 1. Not so sure about that stat. It's Burrow and Brown. It's a flat pass. Guest roll. 1 man there. Looking for that blank on the defensive card. Gets a short game. Possible penalty. Shows up. Offside against KC. It'll be declined. 1st down and 10 up to the 18-yard line. The spot it'll only had happened 10 times during the regular season, 10 4th and shorts for Cincinnati. And they had run 50% of the time. So they did a nice job of distributing the play calls, which made it a little bit more difficult there for a defensive play call, and they took advantage. Too tight now, blitzing 4-3 against Chase Brown, who has minimal pass blocking, but he has some. Off tackle to Brown, nobody home. Needs blocking back help, doesn't get it, but we have an injury. Wharton, who brings good pass rush, will miss this one, but I think he heals next week, as Tim pointed out in the broadcast last week. So he won't miss the Super Bowl if the Chiefs get that far. But he will miss this game. That's some pretty effective pass rush that's lost there when the Chiefs decide to go 4-3. He already had a sack, I believe, 1 today. And now Pennell comes in. Pennell. And he's got 5 pass rush ratings, so it's not that bad. Maintains a 4, so not bad at all. Some depth on that KC defense, which is a really strong unit. 2nd and 9. 1:52 left. So still time for KC, who has all the timeouts, to get the ball back here and try to do some damage. The flat pass. 1 man is there. It's the 5. Gets the 6 roll again against him, and it's a 1st down. Down to the 8. Tough rolls there up against Chenal, who's just getting 6 White dice pelted his way a couple times now tonight. First and goal from the 8. See Burrow's stats there, 13 of 17, 109. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Too tight. Cincinnati, the team on first and goal that actually runs quite a bit. Much more than you'd expect them to. Much, much more. And there's an end run from Chase Brown right on cue. He gets no gain. Oh, tough sledding there. Second and goal now from the 8. Defense takes a timeout. Yeah, they run 88% of the time on first and 1 to 9. Incredible. End run, not the most popular. Goes linebuck 44%, off tackle 29%, end run just 15%, but that's still more than league average of 13% end run. That's what we saw there. Now second and goal from the 8, things change. Got to assume that even in 4th and 1, I don't think Cincinnati's going for it here. So running is an unlikely scenario in my mind here. So I'm probably passing, expecting a pass, and you get it. Short pass, looking for that offensive card. Gets Burrow's card clean and still could not come up with the completion. Third and goal from the 8. That's what you're relying on here. So to get it to Burrow's card, find a way there and get that completion. Everything but the completion that time. KC whiffed on the 22% sack. With the 39. 39 would have been like Karlaftis would have made it. Brian Cook would have had the sack. But Chenault does not. Short pass, Chase Brown. He is double teamed. Intercepted. No chance of penalty. KC will take a knee here. And a huge stop for the KC defense on a beautiful double team. And that red zone D, which finished second highest in the league, with 19% of the time, the offense is coming up with no points when they come into the KC red zone. That shows up tonight. Just about 1 out of 5 times this team shuts you down when you get in the red zone, and it comes right there at a great time for KC. Linebuck, Hunt. See if he can hit the boxes maybe. You get a drive going, and he does. Is it going to be a 25-yard gain? No, I don't think so. 15, I think. Yeah, 15. Need to hit the other box. But that's enough of a drive starter to have KC think about things here a little bit. Let's see here what they do with the clock. Looks like they're going hurry up. Shotgun. With Hendrickson having a good advantage here. Got some pass block help, plenty of pass block help. You can throw to either of those guys and still be okay. It's Kelsey on the short pass, 3 men in zone. He's flushed on the miss of no high linebacker and gets 9 yards out to the 44. 5 on the white die means no getting out of bounds. KC burned that last time out or not? Looks like yes, they do. Look, you just get a field goal here. You're feeling really, really happy if you're KC to walk out of here with a 2-score lead. That would be Amazing. Green in the backfield. He's a popular pass target lately. Certainly last game he was. Regular season just had 53 targets. Long pass, Hopkins, and Hendrickson gets home. So that may do it for the aggressiveness for Kansas City. We'll see here. They're going to be left with what? They go hurry up, and they do. Well, the defense takes a timeout on just a 3rd and 9. Risky proposition if you're Cincy. Very risky, but you're down 7 points, so maybe you want to take a risk. Okay, fair enough. Forcing the issue here are the Bengals. As we wait the formation, 3 wide. Hendrickson again on the 0, on the 2, excuse me. Interesting. 3-2-6. I'm sensing flat pass. Here we come from KC to some yak guy somewhere. That's what's going to happen, according to me. Let's see what actually turns out. Could do a variety of things here, of course. Against the 3-2-6, it's an invitation to run, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, there's your looking pass to Rice, and it's an opportunity for KC to convert. And they don't. Just 4 yards. And we'll see a timeout here from Cincinnati, presumably. We do. 37 seconds left. 60 yards out. Good punting position for Ariza. Waiting for the play call. Not going for the block. From the 12-yard line is Charlie Jones. So hold on to the ball if you're the Bengals. Take all these timeouts, not the fumble would be the idea. 11 yards. And they'll start out with 30 seconds left at the 23-yard line. Okay. So once again, checking on McPherson. He goes out to the 42. So you got, 27 plus 8, 35 yards to get with 1 timeout. Up against a 3-2-6. Your best yak man, Brown and Chase. Chase Brown goes for a long of 34. No asterisk. Gesicki has an asterisk. He's not on the field. Higgins and Chase also with asterisk. 2 men in zone. Oh, just misses the pick. Oh, KC could sense that one. Smell it. Picking up 3 points at the end. Can't do it. 2nd and 10. Stays 4 wide. Burton, Iosivas, they go 47 and 39 yards long. Here's a look into Chase. He's going to have an opportunity here, guessed wrong. Could be something here. Doesn't take advantage. Good play call. I like that play call a lot. 3rd and 8. Low risk, high reward sort of thing. You see Chase's guessed wrong has that long gain down there at 12. You wish it was better than that. You wish it was 10. You wish it was 4, but something. Since he takes a timeout, they will not have an opportunity to go for it on a 4th down with 8 seconds because it's at 15. So you kind of wish there were 8 seconds on the clock here in some respects. Short pass, Burton, 4 men in zone, trying to avoid the pick. Does get 10 yards. And spike to make it 1 second. And then you're going to be 65 yards out. Okay, Chase has your asterisk. Higgins has your asterisk. Jaceki has your asterisk. That's it. That's all you get. Those 3. And if you're AC, those are the 3 you double team. Chase Brown last year had a beautiful long and asterisk. Doesn't have it this year. And Jaceki's not on the field, so you don't have to worry about that. Looking for a penalty if you're Cincinnati, not going to get it, and that'll end the half. 7-0. KC leads. We'll take a look at the box score. %, 17%, and 3rd down efficiency. Rough sledding there. Interception for Burrow in the end zone. KC's been controlling possession. Again, like they did last game. It's been a good formula for them. They finished 22nd in the regular season there. Four penalties against Cincy, 2 against KC. KC's taken 2 sacks since he won. Bucker missed a critical field goal. Not as big as the end zone pick by Burrow, but big nonetheless. Interesting conversation this week with Glenn Guzzo from Stratomatic. About a 2-hour discussion all about the game. Thanks to Dennis Young for sending this my way. A discussion on the game, the development of the game, but some very interesting modern issues on the next set were raised, and the last set. One of those being the Kansas City Chiefs and how they're carded, and Glenn and all the others there. There are a number of owners of football simulation games in the audience. Every one of them said KC was, not a 15-win team by any statistical metric, and we're just not going to card them that way because they found a way to win 1-score games, real close. Especially the offense was rough, and so to hear Glenn sort of mention that, because I've been saying, if you've heard these broadcasts, that KC's undercarded for a 15-win team, and if you're Stratomatic, you don't take that as a criticism. I mean, because that's precisely what they did. They undercarded them as a 15-win team, and they're proud of it. And you see it, in the results. That plays out in their game in a stock league like ours, where KC is 28th in offense per game at 326 yards. 26th in points scored. 26th in punt margin, punting a lot more than their opponents. Those sorts of things show up, and leads to an 11-6 record, which is a very good record. I thought Coach Irvin did a good job navigating to that mark. Looks like we're ready for the second half. Cincy will get another crack at it here. As we'll take a look at ball possession here. As we have a touchdown, we know, on the Cincinnati card. So let's just look at that here for a second. Kickoff, it gets a touchback, so don't need to pay attention to that. Since he went punt, and then interception. The drives got better as they went along for the most part. KC got a little bit worse as they went along, but because you really couldn't beat that first drive touchdown that they had. But put together a nice drive, but missed the field goal in the mid to latter phases of the second quarter. That leaves us at 7-0. Blocking back formation for the Bengals. Gesicki in the backfield. It's a looking pass to Chase. Nobody home. Moderate blitz. Gets 9. See the uncharacteristic sending of a bunch of guys from KC. KC nonetheless finished 8th in sacks at 1.6 sacks per game. And 7th in sack contests. Faced a lot of long passes during the year. 4th in the league in long passes thrown against. Another empty zone look in here for Chase. And this time gets 10 yards. So 2 good plays to open things up with taking advantage of linebackers moving, an uncharacteristic strategy from this KC squad who finished 3rd in the league in men and zone in the flats on defense. Gives up 2 in a row with 0. Now 3 men short pass. And Burrow hit it. He almost gets picked. 2nd and 10. Looking for Higgins. Goes blocking back. Gives KC the opportunity to get men over the guards, but chooses not to. And goes 3-3-5. Opens up some additional doubling possibilities. KC, not a big doubler. 13.9 doubles per game, 22nd in the league. Those double teams called on defense, but led the league in success. Not successful here. Short pass Gesicki, incomplete on Burrow's guard. Burrow not lighting it up. It's had his moments, but 17-28, not so good. Burrow finished with just an 86 passer rating for Cincinnati. And that has a lot to do with the fact that they were guest run so little. Just 14% guest run. Short pass. 4 men in zone on this 3rd and 10. Another miss on Burrow's card. And the Bengals will punt again. $51 yards out this time. Borderline coffin corner. Yeah, he's been pretty sleepy, Jeff. I'm with you there. And Burrow's made to bail you out of 3rd and 10 situations. That's what he's there for. Hasn't been able to do it consistently. If anything, consistently inconsistent. Let's see. Yeah, he coffin cornered it, so it's going to bring it out to what, the 17? 18. Too tight versus 3-3-5. Looking pass, man is there against Hunt. Looking for that 6 white die, doesn't get it, incomplete, 2nd and 10. Tough defensive battle. First drive touchdown by KC, the difference so far. Pacheco in. Got a tough matchup for the KC offensive line. Flat pass, Pacheco. 2 men are there looking for the pick. Doesn't get it. Comes close, though. It's 3rd and long. Cincinnati doing a pretty good job of guessing the zones for the most part. Cost them on the first drive some empty zones. They'll probably cost them a touchdown. No definitive play, but there's a few chunks along the way. 3 wide now against 3-2-6. Interceptions on the cards. Cincinnati's defensive card is 6th best in interceptions in the league. So they'll have men in zone here, presumably, unless we see a look in or something of that sort. Flat pass, and nobody's home. Yeah. So nobody home. Blitz coming. Opportunity for KC to convert, and they do. 14 yards for Breed. Catches Cincy, bringing and moving everybody around, and converts a big 3rd and 10. So start off this first half. Start off the second half, and you've got 3rd and 10 on one side, incomplete on Burrow's card. KC gets a little crafty on their 3rd and 10 and converts. Can they turn it into points? At their own 32. Blocking back formation, Hunt and Gray. Hopkins and Worthy as your receivers. Linebuck guessed right. Looking for the offensive card if you are Cincy. Gets it. And that would have been 5 yards. Turns to 2, 2nd and 8. Three wide. Tough matchup here. This is a spot where KC typically likes to go short, but you got to wonder if they're going to shy away with the pass rush matchup as it is. The KC team fumble is 0. Which does, drive you a bit in terms of how bold you are in these sort of situations. Off tackle Hunt gets 5. That's good enough to set up a 3rd and 3, which is comfy territory for KC, despite their lack of success in converting in this spot all year long. But let's see if they can pull it off this time. Off tackle Hunt gets 7. That's enough. First down. Nicely done. Up to the 46. Clock down to 9:54 in this 3rd quarter. Nickel showing up now for the Bengals against the base formation. And right back to Linebuck, looking for nice yards for Hunt. He's going to find just 3. It's the tough roll there. It's pretty much as bad as you can do, for the most part, depending on what the white guy's doing for you. 2nd and 7. Flat pass, guessed wrong for Kelsey. Just needs 7. Gets 4. Again on the interception split. Sets up another 3rd and 3. Inside Cincinnati territory now. Here we go again. Last time a run got it done. 3 wide, 2 running backs. Take those 6s down to a 5. You don't downgrade those 0s. Obviously, can't get any lower than that. Your extra receiver is Rice up against a 0. It's a Linebuck guess right. Whose card? It's Hunt's card, and that's still good enough. Finds the +4 on the card. First down to the Cincinnati 43. Boy, KC desperate for points here. Getting a 2-point lead, a 2-score lead seems really important. 8:24 left in the 3rd. 3 wide against this 3-3-5. Time to look at Hunt's carries. He's down to 10. Pacheco gives you just about as good stuff as Hunt does, for the most part. Not quite as good right. It's another Linebuck to Hunt. Oh, the dreaded 5. 2nd and 10. Three wide versus 3-3-5. Hendrickson gets the matchup that he's looking for. Expect small ball from KC yet again. Go to the flats against those zeros. Go looking. Do whatever you want to do. No, go short pass. 88% sack. Lingers out there. Possible penalty. Yes, of some sort. It's a offsides against KC. False start. Make it 2nd and 15, boy. So avoided the D die, but by avoiding the D die, it drew the X die, and that gave him a penalty, 2nd and 15. You see that 88%er out there, and a 64%er with Hill. 32% against Hunt. I mean, it's dangerous territory there if you get the D die. 3 wide, 2 running back. 2nd and very long. All year it's been a flat pass spot, and indeed it is. Double teamed, incomplete. Would have been a plus 23. So huge call there for Coach Jeff. 3rd and 15 now. KC goes deep just 3% of the time here versus a league average of 10%. Goes short 31% of the time versus a league average of 29%. All these low-rated defensive backs tell me you're going to throw short here and hunt that plus 15 on the 7 roll on the defensive card. That's what you're aiming for. Just take your shot with one of them. Sack, no big deal at all. You're not going to fumble, most likely. So big deal. Take the chance for the sack and see if you can fire it into a defender X situation. Take your pick. He goes deep. Nobody home for Rashee Rice, who is up against a 4 incomplete. So Mahomes' 9 roll is going to be a completion for 12 yards. Would have been a 4th and 3. Instead, 4th and 15. 38-yard punt puts him at the 10. 90 yards out for the Bengals. Under 7 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter, down 7 points. Starts out blocking back formation. It's going to be a 4-3 drawn in from the Kansas City Chiefs. Zeros are wild across the offensive line. Short pass. He got some possible pressure. Burrow finally hits on his card. I haven't seen that in a while. 10 yards, first down. Out to the 20. See that Burrow snap fumble of 3.4. One of the reasons why he's not considered the best quarterback out there. Lamar Jackson right ahead of him, for example. As does Josh Allen. Short pass Chase. And he double teams the other Chase. Another 10 yards out to the 30. Couple hits there. One interesting stat would be, what's the longest play of the game that we've seen? Seen anything interesting? 16 and 17 yards passing. Rushing, 18 yards. Yeah, nobody's even gone for 20 yards yet. Short pass, Higgins. Can he find that 11 there on that short pass to hit a long gain? Nope, it's going to be a dump off. You can find a long gain here too. Doesn't, just 2 yards and 2nd and 8. Tanner Hudson with a chance, and he doesn't do much with it. Cincinnati, a number of completions here to start out the drive, but still find themselves at their own 32. 5:24 left, 3rd quarter. Goes too tight now. Hudson stays on the field. And draws a 3-3-5 from the Chiefs. So both teams turning to the nickel, even against base formations on offense. It's a looking pass. Jamar Chase. He's not double teamed. It's the interception split. Incomplete, 3rd and 8. Here we go. Burrow's card shall be tested again. Three wide. Versus 3-2-6. Short pass, Jasecki. I was thinking he's going to go along there. 4-man in zone. Incomplete again. Possible penalties waved off. Burrow strikes out yet again. From his own 32, 68 yards away, the punt is going to put it at the 17-yard line for Hardman. Hold on to the ball, please. If you're KC, that's all you want here. Keep these possessions rolling along. Gets 5 yards. That's good enough. No complaints. First and 10 at 22. Looking pass. Worthy. Incomplete. Ooh, would have been a long gain on a 6-weight guy. Instead, nothing. 2nd and 10. Worthy has an asterisk. He can go the distance. Longest was 54 yards in the regular season. Worthy brings a nice yak rating, but otherwise, 24th best flat pass right, 74th flat pass wrong. He's in the 80s on the short pass, and he's in the 50s on the long pass in terms of rank among wide receivers. Linebuck. Nobody home. Opportunity for Hunt gets 5. 3rd and 5. So can't get the 6 yards to break contain. KC has a moderate conversion attempt upcoming. Three wide, 2 running backs versus 3-3-5. Good pass rush matchup for Hendrickson. You can double team too, since he likes to double team. Since he's 3rd in the league in most double teams called by a defense. He called 30.4 per game. It's a linebuck to Hunt. Looking for the defensive card. He's going to get help with the 5. Yes, Smith makes the block. So Smith downgraded to a 5, gets the 5 white die, and makes the block. 1st and 10 KC. Up to the 33-yard line. Three minutes now, 3rd quarter. Two tight. Off tackle Hunt. Nobody home. Guessed wrong. Opportunity for Hunt. He's going to get 15. Up to the 48-yard line. Taking advantage of that nickel. Blocking back versus 3-3-5. Looking past Pacheco. He's double teamed. Incomplete. Nice call there. 2nd and 10. Three wide, 2 running backs. Perrine is in the backfield. Perrine more of your end runner for this team. No, he's not. Sorry. 3 linebacks, 9 off tackles, 0 end runs. So absolutely not an end runner. Looking pass. Guessed wrong. Opportunity for Worthy. Gets 8 yards. 3rd and 2. from the 44. Important here. I can't imagine Casey going for it in any situation. So you stop him here, gets the ball back for Cincy. Kansas City 15th in the league, right in the middle. I'm converting these third and shorts during the regular season. Bengals 20th on defense. Setting up a run call here. 4 wide versus 4-2-5. Look in pass. Guessed wrong. Complete for 9. Kareem Hunt. Into field goal range. Would have been a first down no matter which way, right or wrong. First and 10. Nearing great field goal range. Flat pass worthy. Guessed wrong. Opportunity. Good 8 yards. Possible penalty. It's a hold against KC. Critical hold. Back to the 45 they go. First and 20. Boy, finally get over the hump. Getting into strong scoring range. You got to do it again. They can do it. 3 wide, 2 running back. Up against that 3-3-5. Start with a run. See if you can get that 15 yards. He's not got some pass here. I'm sorry, he's not got some run here. Off tackle. Hunt looking for that box. Doesn't get it. He gets a dreaded 5. No gain. Second and 20. Things suddenly going sideways for the Chiefs. Still 2 plays to dig out of it. Goes 3 wide, 2 running back again against a 3-3-5. It's a draw. Hunt those 15 yards, just gets to third and extremely long. Injury to Hopkins. He's gone for the rest of the game. Is it a critical injury? No, not really. Rice is actually better. And then Watson is your next best. Although Smith-Schuster seems to get a lot of attention. So your top 3, Rice, Worthy, Watson. And we're seeing Watson, Worthy, Smith-Schuster. And it's third and very long. And there's a look-in pass. Get 7 of it back in the field goal range. Take a shot here? Do you take a shot with 13:48 left? This is an interesting decision. I don't know. I don't know if you take a shot. I really, really don't know. From this depth, he's 2 yards away from variable being out of it entirely. And hits 15 out of 36, less than 50% shot. Wow. It is a very interesting decision. What is your point of indifference, everybody? He's 15 out of 36, plus he's got the variable that could knock him out. So, the actual odds are unlikely the variable helps him. So, it's more around probably 12 to 13 out of 36, 1 out of 3 shot. He hits it, which could generate an insurmountable lead. You could punt it or you could go for it. That's what we're seeing here. Now, going for it was the last on my list, but I get it. You got this must run, which is very powerful. You got a plus 10 in there, which would really annoy you. But you see that plus 12. So any shadowing opportunities? Yes, you have a 6 runner right there. Logan Wilson should be shadowing on this 4th down. That'll cut down that must run chance. Hendrickson has the advantage. Why is Tooney at guard? Cincinnati's shown no willingness to move Hendrickson out of that spot. All right, call timeout here if I'm Casey. 4th and 11. Four wide, Kelsey out of the game. Short pass, Smith-Schuster, and the pass rush is there. Hendrickson comes in on the asterisk. So that's not a, more a sack. He gets a 32 when he needed 32 or less by the hair of his chinny chin chin. It's a big sack. He's in field position as if it was a missed field goal, 7 yards back at the 43-yard line are the Bengals. 13-12 fourth quarter. Hendrickson has been a major factor today. Possible penalty. There's a pass interference for 17 yards. Who's getting 17 yards on short passes these days? Nobody in this game. But they call it. And that puts Cincy out to the KC 40-yard line, 1st and 10. Too tight. Gets a 4-3. Short pass to Secchi. Blitzer's on the way. They don't get there. 15 yards. Tranquil can't make that play. He made one earlier in the game on his 4-white die. Can't there. Up to the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 for Cincinnati. Cincinnati looks like they played in 10 one-score games this year. Won 7 of them. At 70% clip was 9th best in the league. The quantity of games, 10, was 11th highest in the league. Short pass again. Higgins, now he's sacked. Taking advantage of those guards, the backup, Pinal, comes in and gets a big sack. I mean, that's important. 2nd and 14. Yeah, you go 3 wide. You don't want messing with your guards. Second time that's happened. Short pass, Higgins, 4-man in zone, another sack. Karlaftis comes in, pushing the Bengals back to the 34-yard line. 3rd and 19. McPherson not very good from this range or the next range. Get into short pass territory. Do you go for it this early? If you get 10 yards, do you go for it? 3 wide versus 3-2-6. We wait the play call. It'd be taking a while. We hope we're not stuck. Go check if we are stuck. We're not. Linebuck. Looking for the big run from Chase. He's going to get 15 if there's no penalty. And he gets the personal foul roughing. Oh, my. Wow. All the way down to the 9-yard line. Massive. Hits the boxes on the linebucker. Thought about that play for a long, long time. All that thought paid off. And then gets the personal foul on top of it. That's painful. First and goal from the 9. Again, Cincy a big runner here, but you're the 9-yard line, so I don't know. Five yards for an end run would be second and goal from the 4. That wouldn't be so bad. You saw Kansas City put guys out in the end run zone on this first and goal last time around, which eventually ended in a Burrow pick inside the 10, which kept this game at 7-0, and that's where we are now. 10:48 left, fourth quarter. Too tight. Short pass, Higgins, 4 men in zone, lots of blitzers. They can't get home. Touchdown. Cincinnati Bengals. They are on the scoreboard. The extra point, which he missed one during the regular season. McPherson, a critical extra point, is good. We are tied at 7, 10:30 left. All right, we got a ball game here. Finally, the game script changes. It has been basically the same dynamic for the last 1 hour and 40 minutes of 7-0. We've finally broken that chain, and we start out now with a really nice stop by the Bengals kick coverage, and this kind of explains why they lead the league in opponent's starting position, averaging the 27-yard line. As you have this +1 combined with this great coverage of +10, +11 on 7-8. Puts KC at the 11-yard line, first and 10, 10-12 left. It's anybody's ball game. Strat says KC has a 51% chance. 2 men in zone, looking pass, opportunity for a pick. It's going to be 26 yards unless there's a penalty. And no penalty. Big catch. Nicely defended, but the Rice Yak comes up huge, gets KC out of the hole, up to the 37. But to me, that just makes that kickoff coverage even more important. I mean, if it started at the 30-yard line, they'd be well into Cincinnati territory right now. Instead, it's kind of like a normal start. Here at the 37. Blocking back formation. Against 3-3-5. Hunt's carry is now dwindled to 4 left. Flat pass. There's 2 men there. Incomplete. Would have been a short gain, or +13. Second and 10, nicely called. Another 2 men in zone call by Cincy D. KC during the regular season threw looking pass just 30% of the time, just 26th in the league. Seen a lot more today because they've been facing a lot of 4-2-5s. This time facing a 3-3-5. On the second and 10. Two safeties can double in this situation to help stop the flat pass. It's a flat pass to Rice. It's a 0 there. Incomplete on Mahomes' card. Third and long. 9 minutes left now, fourth quarter. Morris is your left tackle. Hendrickson is your right end. So that sack chance is alive and well. 3-2-6. Short pass, Perrine. Lots of block. Oh, it's a completion. 12 yards, first down. Sending Perrine out, made an auto sack for Hendrickson. But it does not come up D-die. KC at their own 49. Huge third down conversion there. Blocking back versus 3-3-5. Flat pass, Rice. One man there. Gets 8 yards on the 6 white tie. Inching towards field goal range. 8:06 left now. Too tight versus 4-3. Looking at Pascal. See, he's double teamed beautifully. Can he get the pick? Cannot. Possible penalties coming here. It's going to be a grounding? Yeah, a grounding on Mahomes. Oh my, oh my. 3rd and 12. Back to the KC 47-yard line. You saw that 12-yarder on the short pass 9 on Mahomes' card a couple plays ago. Looking for that again if you're the Chiefs here. Well-deserved grounding after a nice double team. Deserve that call if you're the Bengals. You can still overcome it if you are the Chiefs. As we scan the matchup, Smith-Schuster on the field here. He brings a B-yak. So maybe he's there for dump-off purposes because his short pass is among the worst in the league, among wide receivers. So we take a quick look at it. Yeah. Three wide, 3-2-6. Hendrickson in a good matchup. Everything seems like it normally is here. And now we wait the play call. Since he just allowed 9% of these to be converted in the regular season, goes to Smith-Schuster. Doesn't want the receiver card. Can he get that 9? It's a must run for just 4 yards. So that's kind of what you're looking for. No shadowing from Logan Wilson. He was busy double teaming, but can't get the roll for KC, and they're forced to punt with 7:12 left. 51 yards out. It's a coffin corner for Ariza. 62 plus change. Is that going to be, I assume that's going to be a touchback, but we don't know for sure, depending on the punt coffin corner die. And they don't want to tell us. They're keeping it a secret. It's at the 1! The secret is revealed. And it turns out to be a perfect punt for the San Diego State product, Matt Ariza. He was drafted by the Bills, went to Buffalo, ran into some, turned out to be bogus legal trouble, wound up at Kansas City, and punted like he's never punted before right there. He was an all-pro for this Kansas City. Kansas City had 3 all-pros, Joe Thuney, Chris Jones, and Matt Ariza, the punter. And he makes a Pro Bowl play right there. Interestingly, I don't see any Pro Bowl selections for Cincy. I don't know how that could be. 1st and 10 from the 1. And he goes base formation. The guard's pass block is activated. Look out for the safety, everybody. What? Linebuck Burrow? looking past somebody or another. Probably putting two men looking past zone. If you are KC, if I had to bet, we'll see that. Blocking back versus 4-3. No blitz being shown. Flat pass. Look out here, everybody. If a bad yak roll happens, it's a yak roll, but it's a good one. 12-yard ±1 gets him out of it. Jamar Chase would have done a lot more damage, but it's a 1st and 10 from the 12. That was dicey. Very dicey. A 7 or an 8 would have been a safety. But somehow the Bengals escape the 1-yard line. And now they're at the 12. Still a very long way to go. Too tight versus 4-3. 6:36 left, fourth quarter. Would not call it a barn burner, but it is close. End run, guessed wrong for Chase Brown. Is he going to get help? Yes. Drew Sample makes a huge block for a 9-yard gain on first down, 2nd and 1. Cincinnati spreads out the play calls on 2nd and 1. Nothing sticks out. 5% long pass. The league is 5%. 70%, 17% short pass. The league is 16%. So right on top of the league, pretty much every category. Well distributed on 2nd and shorts. Goes linebacker to Burrow, just trying to get it, but Amanda's there. Nonetheless, 4 yards, first down, Cincinnati. Clock runs, 5:24. That linebacker really served that purpose of the clock running as much as anything else. There's an opportunity to get this clock way down, but kind of have to put together a number of good plays to get that done. It's within the realm of possibility with this quarterback and his card. 1st and 10 at the 25. Too tight versus 4-3. Looking past Jamar Chase. Gets the 5 white die. Going to be incomplete. Would have been -4 on the ends. 1st and 10. Turns to 2nd and 10. 5:06 now left. Too tight. Again, inviting the 4-3. Does not accept the invitation. 3-3-5. Which sets up better from a pass block perspective, protection perspective for the Bengals. It's a short pass, Jamar Chase, 4 men in zone, he's sacked! Hits the one guy who's above zero is Karlaftis versus Mims, the rookie out of Georgia. And he's brought down for a huge 11-yard loss. Wow. 3rd and 21. Needs that dump off 6 white die, 10 roll to get +23. Four wide versus 3-2-6. Short pass, Burton. 4 men in zone. Not going to get much more than 10 yards here if you get that. Does not. And now, from their own 14, the punt for Cincy. Needs a good one here. Can he find a good one? No, it's just decent. Hardman from the 38 trying to avoid a fair catch and trying to hold on to the ball. Does that. Gets 6 yards. So from the 44-yard line, KC in pretty decent shape here. 3:54 left. Needs a good 25 yards to feel good about a field goal, roughly. Gets that 3-3-5. Hunt, who, if he gets into fatigue, it matters for him. You'd want to take him out in most cases. It's a linebacker to him, so we'll have 3 carries left after this, barring a penalty. No Creed Humphrey there to make the block, so it's just 3 yards, 2nd and 7. Humphrey injured last game versus the Houston Texans. He was out for about at least a half, and then 2 additional weeks. Jeff noticing Creed not there. Kind of, I assume he knew that all along, however. Second and 7. Flat pass to Kareem Hunt, who's double teamed by Mike Hilton. And he gets 6 yards anyway. Mahomes finds the completion. Woo. Anxious moments for KC. The hope of a pick 6 for the Bengals goes the other way. Pick 6 becomes +6, 3rd and 1. Full house. Rare formation for these Chiefs. From their own 47. 2:42 left. Critical conversion here. Just needs a yard. It's Pacheco. Looking for Pacheco's card if you're the Bengals. Doesn't get it. Creed Humphrey, no problem. Without him. No Creed, no problem. 3 yards. First down KC to the Cincy 44. It's going to roll down now to 2:06 left to play. First and 10 from the 44. Sticking with the 3-3-5. We're going to get the 2-minute warning after this play. It's a look-in pass. Guess wrong. Opportunity for Noah Gray. He's going to get 8 yards into the fringes of field goal range for these Chiefs as we hit the warning. 2nd and 2. They just got to grind out some first downs, and they'll be headed to the Super Bowl in all likelihood if they can do that. But that's an if. Three wide, 2 running backs. Now 4-3. Linebuck, Hunt, opportunity to pick up a few yards. The left guard, Tooney, will not make that block. So moving to 3 wide, 2 running back. Pretty significant effect there. As you would have been into solid 2 through 10 range for your kicker, Harrison Butker. Instead, you're still out in deep range where he's much worse. Where he's 15 out of 36 as opposed to 33 out of 36. And he's already missed 33 out of 36 today. First and 10 again, stays with it despite the costly loss of the offensive block there from Lyman. Stays 3 wide, 2 running back versus 4-3. Kelsey remains off the field. It's an off-tackle man there against Hunt. Guessed right. Opportunity for the defense. They can't get it done. A huge 5-yard pickup. 2nd and 5 to the 29. Into 2 through 10 range. Cincy now will start burning the timeouts. Or will they? Did they not? Huh? I'm confused. 2nd and 5. Let the clock roll. Huh. I guess if it, not sure what that does. You're down to that last first down here. Flat pass, Rice. He's got guessed wrong. He's going to get some yards most likely. Yeah, 10 more. And the Chiefs are in business and in control here. Couldn't get out of bounds. That's a good thing if you're the Chiefs. Who's trying to get out of bounds? Butker stays at 33 out of 36 all the way to the 1-yard line. where he gets a 35 out of 36. So you can, knowing that it doesn't change at all, you can kneel here if you're the Chiefs, which probably makes the most sense. Again, it does not matter. There's no variable risk. This thing is staying at 33 out of 36. And you can run it down to 1 second if you just kneel. If you score, you're giving him the ball. I mean, you just kneel. Off tackle Pacheco, you can risk a fumble here. 6 out of 1,000. He's got minimum fumbles, but still, his chance. Run these two downs, and you'll have a second left. If that's what you want. Not going to have much of a choice. You can probably call a timeout with 8 seconds if you wanted to, which would help ensure that a offensive penalty does not stymie you at the end, which is always a good thing to do. Typically that matters though when it's not fourth down. It would be fourth down in this case, so that may not matter. Full house versus 4-3. Well, let's see here. We get a kneel down, or do we get another run? We get a run. Hunt. Don't fumble, Hunt. He does not. Last time out for Cincy. 3rd and 8. Chiefs trying to get back to the Super Bowl. Gonna have a 33 out of 36 chance to do it here. Looks 3 wide, 2 running back. Really taking their time here at the end. What do we see from Hunt and Mahomes? We see, as we wait to get to the field goal, we go through trials and tribulations. Did we drop? Did we not drop? Yeah, it's a knee. Which makes sense to me. So 1 second for the timeout to win it. Harrison Butker can take the Chiefs to the AFC to be the AFC representative in the Super Bowl. Can he hit it? He missed one from this range earlier. He's 2 through 10 here. Kick formation. Fine. Eagle defense chosen. Here's the kick. It's good. The Chiefs advance to the Super Bowl. Congratulations to Coach Irvin. We'll invite the players to come on. We will await. While we await that, we'll take a look at our box score. I imagine the game summary starts in a hard-fought contest. That's my guess of the first words here. Let's see. In a close battle. Okay, I did not get it right. Kansas City squeaked by. Yeah, indeed. Key sacks at the end were really huge. Karlaftis, that one. And then there was another one, I think, that got the Chiefs the ball back, and they needed to have 25 yards, and they got that more to get in position to win. They dominated. Yards gained. Burrow, very pedestrian output today, 5.1 yards per attempt, a huge pick in the end zone. As we see our red zone percentages here. KC won that battle. Let's see. The coaches will be joining. We await their arrival. Coach Irvin, congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
Woo, back to the Super Bowl, you know.
I know, right?
How about that?
That's crazy. I really didn't expect. I know it's 15-2, but you've talked about the card. I don't like to bitch about bad cards. The cards are fine, but they were 15-2 because they were like the Denver this year, where they won all these close games. So yeah,
Exactly.
Been a grind. By the way, just for context, it occurred to me halfway through the fourth quarter. My first AFC Championship game ever was against Dan Marin and the Broncos. And in that game, I got a touchdown on the opening drive and ended up winning that game 7-0 to go to a Super Bowl. I went halfway through the fourth quarter. I'm like, man, we might be doing this again.
Seriously. Oh my, back and forth you went.
What a defensive line. Struggled. It was kind of a, let's be honest, a little bit of a candy ass way to sneak in for that last field goal and run a bunch of clock and burn all his timeouts. But listen, I've worked so hard to get that 3 points all game.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, it's the sacks that got you there. There's those big sacks.
Yeah.
As Jeff joins, welcome, Jeff. The big sacks set up the field goal. I think there was 2 in a row. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you.
If you can hear
me okay?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Thoughts on the game, sir?
Well, I tell you what, it was killing me was third down. I could not get a third down conversion. I thought, come on, I got something going. It was a grind. I mean, we were both all over it, and stopping each other. But I think he was around 50% on third down, and I was like 2 for 10 or something.
8 of 16 and 2 for 10. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a fun game. It was down to the end, and like I said, I'm sure there were a lot of choice words being thrown around in both houses. That was a great call. That interception at the end. I thought he's not going to double team Brown here. I'll go. But I thought if you watched last game, he saw me do that, and I thought, nah, it's too obvious. He's not going to call it. And then he jumped all over it and got the interception.
We were so careful with each other. I think that the fear of double teams dictated so much of our game.
Yeah.
Just because it was so tight defensively, a big play could just mean everything. So
I kept thinking, just give me one of those on a double team. Just give me on that defense. Just give me one of those automatic interception. We just kept missing them. And I thought, just give me one of them. And it didn't work out, but it was still fun. I mean, it was a good game, and well deserved. Tim, you had a great year. You got him going, but I don't think anybody would have thought a 10-7 game with Mahomes and Burrow. That would
scored
be the end.
77 points combined in my last playoff game.
And I'm sitting there going, my defense. Let's see, I shut the last guy out and I held you to 7, I think, or 10. I thought that's not bad, but. Anyway, it was good. It was fun. So what were you thinking during the broadcast? What were the kind of the comments and thoughts?
Well, I mean, if you were to just move off of the base game script, it was a lot of talk around the Chiefs' offensive line versus your pass rush and the matchups there. So Jeff, you did not indicate you had any willingness to move Hendrickson to outside linebacker to take advantage of Creed Humphrey. And meanwhile, Tim,
I set that up in my commute and my manager, and then when the game started, he wasn't there, and I thought, I'm not going to fool with it. I'll just let him. I'll just have it there. But I was going to put him on the outside linebacker.
Oh, okay, yeah, interesting. And then Tim counters that by putting Morris mostly on Hendrickson throughout the game and not Tooney. And
yeah,
it's typically Tim's choice. So that was because the offense goes first. So
some of that I don't like to run around the end. You cited that last time, and I like that 6 run blocking up the middle. Part of it.
Yeah, sure. Which Tooney, I think,
did. Going to beat a. He may have trouble against a 7, but he can still sack on a 7 when he's got a 12 and a star rating. It's like a 2 to 5.
Yeah. He got one on an 80 though. He got one on an 80 roll against Morris, which he wouldn't have gotten against Tooney, And then of course Tooney had one block, and then Tooney missed another block. You were running a lot of 3 wide too.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing, Jeff, was your choice, and it's a fine choice. But if you could break it down for us, you were going nickel against his base offense many times. This is not your classic Mahomes, not your classic, Tyreek is not on the field here, right? To destroy you downfield. So what brought you out of the base defense?
Tim loves the flat pass. So I'm going to go to nickel so I can keep covering that flat pass, whether it's in the middle, off to the side. So I kept trying to get 2 men there too. I was worried he'd go deep, and he did, I think, a couple of times, and it had me a little. But I thought, you know what? I'm just going to take my chances. I wasn't scared of his run game. I thought those guys even guessed wrong. They didn't seem very good. I thought, you know what? I'm going to try to cover it, put at least 2 guys in at least one of the zones and maybe 2 of the zones. And I did a few times, and I got lucky and I got right several times. I got that defensive 2 men in the zone, but that was the thought process. I thought if I can just shut that down, then maybe force him to go downfield a little bit and see what happens there. But I was worried he'd go deep. So it worked out. I mean, we kept him in check, but I kept worrying about the defensive role on the run. I thought if he keeps getting that, he's just going to blow through that line, and this is going to be a long night. So I thought, well, I'll take my chances. I did the same thing against Pittsburgh. That's what I did against him, and it worked. And I thought, well, we'll go with it again, see if it worked. Because I didn't start that way, and then I shifted to it, and I thought, well, once he figures out and how to beat it, and he starts doing it over and over again, I'll stop. But I was getting good rolls. So that was kind of the thought process on that whole thing. But yeah, because I'm sure that was a little bit unconventional. I'm sitting there thinking, Dennis is thinking, what the hell is he doing? But why would you go nickel and against that base? But I thought, well, we'll see.
Yeah. There's certainly reasons to do it. It's very interesting to hear your thought process for it. So appreciate that. And then Tim, on your side, was there any major strategic initiative that you had coming into the game?
Coming into the game, not really. Things had worked so well offensively down the stretch against Houston that really I wanted to kind of go with a similar game plan. And most importantly, avoid the turnovers. And I know he might have had a double here or there, but he did a real good job of catching me with 2 men in the zone in those flats. And that's tough to avoid because Mahomes can't keep you honest deep as well as a lot of quarterbacks. But I did not get the usual number of correct double teams against my receivers. I did a pretty good job of picking the people that he wasn't throwing, that he wasn't doubling, especially with the safety. Got a few, but not as many as I normally get with as much as I run that kind of an offense. So, and then I ground out 33 runs. I knew that I wanted the run game. I wanted the run game safe. Kareem Hunt has a low fumble count. Down the stretch, I was nervous anytime I handed to anybody other than Kareem Hunt. But, of course, you got to be honest. Pacheco came in with a good 40 yards of support tonight, which he doesn't normally do quite so well. He was the only one running in the first quarter.
Very good. Well, when is our NFC Championship game scheduled?
I don't believe I've seen that it's scheduled yet. So we're going to have to wait and see. They've got some time on their hands. It's just Tuesday, but yeah, I'll be reaching out. It's going to be, a good one. Lions and Eagles for sure.
Very good one. Very
Yeah,
interesting
That's a
matchup.
couple powerhouses. That's gonna be a good one to watch. You'll have your hands full, Tim. Whoever gets there.
I will just go ahead and put it on record. I think I would rather face the Eagles. I just think that I would.
Maybe a better
Yeah,
matchup.
it's
Jared Goff
especially from a Cards
a
perspective.
little more than Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Although Jalen Hurts,
Jeff,
he won the last game with just 6 completions and 60 yards passing. You never know.
well, they can do it so many ways. I mean, Barkley can just, give you a 2-play drive because he goes for 70 on an 11, an 11 roll or a 3 roll or whatever. And see you later.
Way, no matter who I get, I'm sure I'll be calling a run defense much more than my typical percentage. I think you said in a broadcast recently that I'm number 1 at sticking to a pass call defensively.
Yeah.
That the percentage is coming down in the Super Bowl. I can guarantee you that. No matter.
You went from 9 to 10% over the last couple of weeks, but you still finished. Yeah, you still finished number 1 in calling pass this year, no doubt. Anything else to add, Jeff?
No, I congrats to Tim. A great season, and that's awesome that you're getting to go. I mean, it was fun getting that close. I exceeded all my expectations with that team anyway, so I had no complaints, and just I could sit back and enjoy the game. And I know I was just laughing because I know some of the things that when I get a roll, I think I can't imagine what he's saying on his end. Because I just see this come on a couple of things, and I thought, well, but it was fun. It was a good game. I was hoping it wouldn't be a blowout. I mean, it gets boring and sitting there, and it's just too easy. So it's fun. Came down to the wire. I kept hoping for a turnover there late, and just could not get it. And I knew if he got close, Butker wasn't going to miss. I thought he's not going to miss 2 in the same game. So I thought, well, I thought let's just hope for a turnover. Something happens. And hey, you did a great job, Tim, and I'm proud of you. And it's exciting. You get to go into the Super Bowl, and I guess I'll have to cheer for the AFC. You have to take down the big boys there. So I'm in your corner.
That's right.
Jeff, did you hear the story I was telling Anthony when I first came on?
No.
I think it was my very first AFC Championship game appearance in the USFL that I took on Dan Marin and the Denver Broncos. And in that game, I scored a touchdown on the opening drive, and that was the only points of the game. I won it 7-0.
Wow.
I mentioned that because it suddenly hit me halfway through the fourth quarter when the score was still 7-0. I'm like, this could be history repeating itself maybe. But then you finally broke through and got in the end zone, and I thought we were maybe heading to overtime, like all the other games we've seen so far.
Yeah, it seems like there's been a bunch. I kept thinking, I was hoping that something little would break, but it was interesting. I mean, it just never 10-7. You told me 10-7, like that's not going to be our game. That'll be some other game.
Burrow and Mahomes, no way.
Yeah. So anyway, it was
fun. We played in the regular season. Did we have a low? No, that's right. We scored 58 points in the regular season. Something like that. About 50. Okay.
Yeah, 34-24 final.
Okay, I remembered it then.
And that one. So it was a big
All right,
one.
well, Michael Emerson and Tim Hayer up next. Let's see who I've got coming up.
Very good. Congrats on a great season, Jeff. Really nice, nice way to finish
Jeff.
the season.
Well, thanks so much. I appreciate it. And like I said,
again, it all the way to the AFC title game.
Yeah. But hey, well, good luck.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. All right.
Thanks for doing the broadcast.
Everybody, well, I'm sure we'll.
It was,
happy to. I'm sure we'll see everybody on the.
Maybe.
Yeah. By all means, it's up there. Just hit that view link, and you'll be on it. All right, everybody. We'll see you. Somebody will be broadcasting the NFC Championship game, and then the Super Bowl after that. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you.